Let's try it now. Can y'all hear me better now? Type a 5 in the chat if you can hear me without static and without any issues right now. Let me know, everyone. Say it better. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, great. So, peace and prosperity to everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. We are back in our beautiful trees. I'm going to set peace and prosperity to everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. We are back in our beautiful trees. I'm going to set the phone down. So, all right. I appreciate you, Soul Speak. I always appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Well, that time that freeze right there was me because I accidentally clicked on the off screen because my phone is old and sensitive. But we should be solid now, right, everyone? Thank you, Jose. Thank you so much for coming in. Peace and prosperity to you. And as I mentioned before to start, if you guys remember this tree, this is where we planted and donated this beautiful piece of black calcite crystal here. Hey, Gaia crystals. I was just talking about crystals. And on a live back in January, we had our beautiful crystal break off a beautiful piece that we decided to donate to this beautiful tree and this beautiful nature energy. So we're just retouching with that for a moment. Thank you so much, Elevate. I love you. I appreciate it. Yes, I love crystals too. I love the energy from them. Speaking of which, Tamiko, if you love crystals, Gaia, did you say? Yep, I'm about to pin you, Gaia. My beautiful friend Gaia here out of New York does the most amazing customized crystal jewelry. And I mean top notch crystal jewelry. She also does some sage wands, which I can't wait to get one of. Hey, Lily, Lotto Lily, we love you. Thank you so much for being here. She does some amazing sage wands where she puts the astrology signs on them. They're so cool. Well, yeah, I mean, I like to speak the truth and love, and it's coincidental because a lot of us who are tapping into this nature energy, Bonoit, Lily, we love you, thank you. A lot of us who are tapping into this nature energy are not just utilizing just the trees and outside, but we're fortunate. Hey, Big Checklet, thank you for being here. We love you. We are very fortunate to be able to recognize that same love and nature energy and other things around us, just like crystals. I wear several crystals every day, and I easily probably have like 60 to 70 crystals in my truck right now. Hey, Miss Royal Lee, peace and prosperity to you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the gifts, Elevate. We love you. We appreciate you. Yeah, I love that. I love that. And so for me, having crystals around me and with me constantly is just the same as grounding. I showed y'all my amber yesterday. It's 40 million plus years old. And there's a certain wisdom in that piece of amber being 40 million years old that helps me to align myself and also, of course, helps my throat chakra when I'm speaking. But there's so many different crystals out here. It's a beautiful thing and it's a beautiful way and a unique way to tap into specific frequencies based on what we may need or want at that time. So I'm always going to promote you, guys, because you're the person I'm going to trust in wrapping my crystals, and anything I trust, I'm going to recommend to anybody else I love and trust. And we're filled of loved ones here. So thank you for coming in. What I want to talk about today specifically is I am going to do a very special nighttime live for the lunar eclipse. For those who are aware, the lunar eclipse will be happening next Thursday night / Friday morning. And so here in Michigan, the best time to view the eclipse, the full of the lunar eclipse, will be around anywhere between 2:30 in the morning to 3:30 in the morning. So I will actually be going live at that time. I'm going to also be doing a fast for 72 hours leading up to that lunar eclipse. And I'll be making some more announcements about it, but I wanted to announce it first here on live. And then as the week progresses leading up to it, I will be both going into details about what I will actually be doing to fast, why I'm fasting, specific electric things I'm going to be eating. Hey, Tangela, thank you so much for being here. We love you. Peace and prosperity to you. Thank you so much for joining the team. We love you. Thank you so much. It's so good to see you. I'll be doing, I'll be eating very specific things with intentions, and of course, helping myself to be as electric as I possibly can be during that lunar eclipse, so that I can, of course, do as I always do, which is connect nature to us all for those who are not able to get out here and tap into this love and energy. Thank you so much for the gifts. It's so good to see you. But I'm making this first announcement about it here and now. Um, so 2:30 Eastern time, Thursday, it's Friday night, right? So Thursday night going into Friday morning is when the eclipse will be, and I will be going live during that time from 2:30 a.m. to 3:30 a.m. for the lunar eclipse specifically. And again, I'll now announce my 72-hour fast and what I'm fasting, my intentions behind the fast, and if anyone wants to join me in it, I'll be listing out the things I'm eating and drinking. Again, in order to make myself as electric as I possibly can to get this download energy. I did the same thing during the solar eclipse last year, which I was still traveling on the road, and so I got to go down to Dallas, Texas, where I could see it in full. I was able to stand there, grounding, and absorb that eclipse with my eyes wide open. You know, no glasses, no nothing, and just it really catapulted my energy. But it was major for me because of the preparation I put into that moment with the fasting. Um, a lot of our a lot of our biblical and spiritual texts refers to preparing ourselves with fasting, because as we cleanse out the body and the soul, it allows for us to then receive more. So when we, release addictions, when we release, you know, the attachments to a lot of the physical things that we're used to on a regular basis, it allows the body, the mind, the soul to receive more. And I was fortunate to have some amazing downloads during that solar eclipse with that same practice, where I had went 72 hours leading up to the solar eclipse last year, um, on what they call a dry fast, where I really didn't eat anything physically. It was just all juices and coconut water and herbs. I'm going to be doing something very similar to that this time. And again, I'll be announcing more details of that in the next coming days, where I will post in detail exactly what I'm fasting, exactly what I'm going to be eating during the fast, so that if anyone wants to follow along, they are more than welcome to it. And then the culmination of that will be on, again, 2:30 a.m. that Friday night, the 14th. So going into that Thursday evening after midnight at 2:30 a.m., I will be live during the lunar eclipse here in Michigan from 2:30, probably closer to 3:30. Of course, depending on the weather and things like that. But I will be out here soaking up that love and energy, not just for myself, but of course, now to be able to provide that love and download energy to everyone involved, to the millions of people who will watch these lives, and of course, all of us here. So I wanted to make sure I get that announcement out and express that, because realistically, our bodies are meant to cleanse itself. We are meant to heal ourselves. We are meant to be our own, of course, best friend and our own sometimes enemy. And when we tap into the energy of fasting, you allow your body to do what it's naturally meant to do, which is to heal and cleanse. Thank you all so much for the likes and the shares. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you all so much for being here. And so I really want to lock in on that, because all of us can feel the energy of this approaching lunar eclipse. For anyone who may be having issues with sleeping, for anyone, I bet you do elevate. That's awesome. I'm working on doing it myself on a day-to-day basis. It's it gets inconsistent for me sometime because of my work schedule, but I want to get to a point where I'm literally only eating once a day. Like I would like to lock in on that, both in combination with my workouts and just in general. Like when I have gone days where I've gone those moments where I'm up for 12 whole hours and then I wait until the end of my work shift to eat, I feel like I've had more energy throughout the day. I feel like I don't get that sluggish feeling that we sometimes get when we eat. Which, hey, Tiger's Eye, thank you so much for being here. We love you, appreciate you. Which, you know, our culture, and I say that because I'm a part of it, and I've done this before too. Our culture is very much used to, you know, you have to have the itis to be full, right? Peace and prosperity to you, brother. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. We have this idea that you have to have the itis to be full. If your belly ain't poked out and you ain't drooling and ready to go to sleep, you ain't eat enough. You know, we have that whole impression, um, really just instilled upon us for a lot of different reasons. But that's not really proper eating. It's not really a proper way of doing things. You want to have an even exchange with your body as far as food. Let me break that down, because every connection you have, you want to be even exchange. Every connection you have, whether it's romantic, plutonic, no matter if it's temporary, well, I guess everything is temporary, right? If it's a connection for a day, if it's connection for a month, it's a connection for a year, or as some people would say, a season or a day, right? All connections, you want even exchange. You want even exchange. I can look through the list of the beautiful people here and recognize the even exchange I have with you all, because we're all giving and sharing love and information back and forth with each other. I put out love and energy, y'all receive it, and y'all give that love and energy right back to me in your own way. That's an even exchange. Nobody's drained, nobody's losing, everybody's gaining, everybody's elevating, right? So now, taking into that kind of concept in our minds, right? We need to have that type of exchange with ourselves. With ourselves. There should be reciprocity in what we give ourselves. We should be able to see the output of whatever we put into our body. Whatever we take into our minds or any of our senses, we should be able to use. We should be able to gather it inside and then push it back out just as productively as we took it in. What you're listening to, we talk about all of our senses, what you're listening to, what you're tasting, what you're smelling. Everything should have its purpose to keep your body cycling and keep you producing more, making more, creating more. Because again, as I've said before in other lives, if you're not creating, you're probably destroying. If you're not living, then you're dying. It's usually not a lot of in between. You want to pick a direction and go for it. So, with that being said, I want to encourage more of that type of energy for ourselves. Thank you so much, Tamika. We love you. We appreciate you. Everyone here, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. And so, with fasting, we get to have a moment where a lot of us adults, right, have different programming and different And I say this with grace because I have the same issues too. I love you too, Tamiko. I love you too. We have the same issues where we're using certain things that usually can be draining to keep us quote unquote functional, to keep us quote unquote responsible, right? That's another moment where fasting might kick in, where you get to release the obligations tied to certain activities. You get to release the quote unquote importance of certain things just to let your body refresh in its natural state. Thank you all so much for the gifts. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And we want to make sure that we promote that because we come out here and we ground our energy, which we are allowing ourselves to release negative energy with the hugging and touching of these beautiful trees. We allow ourselves to, while also releasing this energy, we are also outputting loving, positive energy to everyone watching, to the millions of people who will see this, and to all of us here right now. We put ourselves in the middle of that exchange. We put ourselves directly in the middle of that energy exchange so that it can go back and forth and fluid and beautiful without, of course, draining ourselves or draining anyone else, allowing it to be uplifting the whole time. Brother Ro, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. We love you. We appreciate you coming in. I, as a person leading by example, thank you so much, Crystal. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for the gift and joining our team. We appreciate you. Thank you, everyone, so much for the likes and the shares. I appreciate you. I lead by example always because it's a better way of understanding myself and life. If you see me doing it, thank you so much. Happy Saturday to you. If you see me doing it, and then I'm, of course, introducing the ideas or recommending these ideas to other people, then you can respect where I'm coming from because you can see the effects of what I'm doing in the outside world. When people come to our page, and I say our page because I'm creating an environment for all of us, right? When people come to our page and they like our lives and they like our stories and they like our posts, they are receiving love and prosperous energy constantly. I'm constantly able to do that, not just on my own willpower alone, not just on my own flesh alone, but because of what I tap into to recharge me, because of what I tap into to release negative energy. So we have been out here now for over 60, I think today's day 68. Don't quote me. If anybody want to do the math for me, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the FYP. I love you. I appreciate you. But we've been out here for over almost 70 days. And what we started with and the energy we started with has accelerated. It's advanced. Yeah, you can sure feel it when you haven't been on in a while. Yeah, exactly. I would expect so because that means I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm making a positive impact that it can be felt and recognized by everybody. But again, to be able to do that for 70 days, constantly keeping that frequency high and loving energy, despite, we love you, Crystals. Thank you so much for being here, bro. I appreciate you. Despite, all the different negative energy around us, despite all of the other propaganda and war around us, the way I'm able to do that is not just, of course, being out here grounding, but it's to do activities that continue to allow me to have an even exchange, whether I'm outside grounded or not. The even exchange in my body, in my mind, in my soul is necessary so I don't drag anything along or I don't force anything ahead. I want to stay right in the flow of things, right in the midst of that love and Mother Nature energy so I can move fluid with the current. So, with this lunar eclipse coming up, again, I can feel it. A lot of us are picking up on that energy. It's important for me to elevate myself as best I can to continue that conductivity. And the best way to do that is, of course, for me to fast. Midnight, thank you so much for being here. We love you. We appreciate you. Nikki, thank you so much for being here. We love you. We appreciate you. Everyone coming in, tapping the screen, sharing the live. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. This is our Grounding Daily Show. I am out here hugging one of my favorite trees, and it's hugging me back. And we're sharing that love and energy with everyone. This one, Tiger's Eye, I'm going to pin your comment in case anyone else is wondering. I am going to specifically be doing a fast for 3 days leading up to the lunar eclipse. And as I mentioned earlier in the live, and I'm going to make some more posts about this as reminders, I am going to do a very special live for the lunar eclipse, where instead of coming on around this normal time like I am now, I'll be on around 2:30 in the morning. That's 2:30 a.m. Eastern time. I'll be on live on Thursday night, next Thursday, the 13th. Or I shouldn't say next Thursday night, next Friday night. So it gets confusing sometimes explaining the days, but Thursday night into Friday morning at 2:30 a.m. will be the lunar eclipse. That's when it will be at its fullest and most powerful. I will be outside doing a very special live from 2:30 a.m. to 3:30 a.m. while it is full in the full eclipse. The 3 days or 72 hours prior to that, leading up to that, I will be fasting. I will make some posts detailing exactly how I'm fasting. It's okay. It's okay because, I'm going to always post my replays on YouTube. I'm going to always make sure people have access to things beyond just the very moment because we're all busy. We're all, but we're all busy. We're all busy. We all have missions on saving the world in the best way we can. I don't want anybody to have to sacrifice what they're doing for the collective and miss out on what I'm doing for the collective. That's not fair. So I always make sure I post the replays. But for anyone who does want to come on live at that time, I want y'all to know far in advance what I'm doing leading up to it, which is the fast, and of course that I'll be on at that time. And so again, as in the coming days, I'll be making some more posts about it, going over that in extreme details, so that if anyone wants to join in and receive that same energy at that high output, they can do so. And at the very least, I want to just again inspire people to take into consideration that every exchange needs to be an even exchange. When you're eating, when you're listening, when you're viewing, you have to exchange something. You are giving your attention right now to this moment. And I make sure by connecting to this love and energy that it's an even exchange. So that when you give your attention here to me and these trees, you are going to get back loving and positive energy in return. It's okay, Tamiko. I love you. I appreciate you. I'll be getting off of here probably next another 5 minutes. So I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming in. I want your senses to be elevated in my presence. Let me say that again. I want your senses to be elevated in my presence. I love you too, Tamiko. Thank you so much for being here. So I make sure I'm giving you clean electric energy. How do I make sure that I do that? By elevating myself and sharing that love and elevation energy with you. Ari, peace and prosperity to you. Thank you so much for being here. We love you. Goddess Ari7, thank you so much for joining. And so that's why this is important. And I want to share, because for anyone just coming in now, what we're talking about is I will be making some announcements throughout the week of my fast leading up to the lunar eclipse, which I will be doing a special broadcast of the lunar eclipse while grounding at 2:30 a.m. next Thursday night / Friday morning for the lunar eclipse, which will be at full in this region. Hey, Crystal Moon, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Which will be at full. The full eclipse starts around 2:30 a.m., runs until about 3:30 a.m. Hey, Lex, thank you so much for being here. Peace and prosperity to you. And so, leading up to that 2:30 a.m. fast, excuse me, not 2:30 a.m. fast, leading up to that 2:30 a.m. lunar eclipse, I will be fasting for 72 hours leading up to that. And I will be making some announcements, breaking down my fast, what I'm eating, the intentions behind everything I'm doing. Because the purpose of this meeting today in the exchange is, again, to talk about the even exchange. It has to be even exchange with things you're doing if you're trying to be positive. As I mentioned before, my goal is to make sure when you come here, you don't feel the itis when you leave my page. That itis, sluggish, slow feeling. You don't feel drained when you leave my page. You feel uplifted. You feel loved. You feel appreciated. That energy can't just come from me alone. I have to tap in to a loving source to help power me up. I love you too, Tiger's Eye. Thank you so much for being here. Peace and prosperity to you. Thank you so much for coming. That's my whole goal. That's an even exchange. When you hear my voice, you should feel an exchange of positive energy going and coming back and forth. Thank you so much, Elevate. 10K is crazy. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And so I want people to understand, as I try to lead by example, I want people to understand how I'm able to do that, how I'm able to love anybody and everybody, how I'm able to promote this positive energy constantly. It is from these type of practices: cleansing my body, cleansing my mind, cleansing my soul, and grounding. And so I lead by example. I show that example so I can, of course, show people how it works, because I want to be an example of how this positive energy works. I want us to see that, recognize it in ourselves, because all of us have a piece of this loving energy in each of us. We're all connected. We all have access to this love, and we all can be reminded of it through these type of actions. So that's my goal. And again, I'll be making some posts about that in details so that everyone is aware. Again, I'm gonna break down in entirety, like, okay, I'm eating this for this energy. I'm drinking this for this energy. I'm gonna be very intentional about it. So in the next couple of days, you'll start to see my first couple of posts about it, breaking it down, and then I'll be making the official announcement, explaining everything in detail as I did here today. Hey, Waukesha, I'm so sorry you coming in just now. We getting ready to head out, but we love you. We appreciate you coming in. Everybody, I love you and I appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. As I mentioned before, I will definitely be going in details about it. It's okay. We thank you for being here. We love you. We appreciate you. And of course, my replay will go up on YouTube. Love and blessings to you all. Thank you so much, Crystal Moon. Peace and prosperity to you. This replay will go up on my YouTube page. I'm still working on one of my replays posting. TikTok is acting funny. I must have said something real good during one of those lives, because it does not want to let me download it. But I'll get it up eventually. This one should come right up, and I'll have this up sometime this evening, early in the morning. For anybody who missed the live, you get to kind of come back and enjoy this moment with us, and I appreciate you. And I will be back again tomorrow. You'll get some posts from me later this evening, and I'd love to come and interact with y'all. If you're going to be on live tonight,